the question of the classiness of gangsters, Simon.
Mm.
This past week, I've been spending quite a lot of time arguing with Grok as a kind of experiment, right?
Oh yes, I saw. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I started arguing with Grok about was race and criminal stats. Okay, because I wanted Grok to admit that race is basically the only factor when it comes to certain things. And I was, getting all the copes down, getting all, batting away. It was like a kind of kung fu match or something. And then Grok started coming out with, well, the thing is, it's about the structure of black gangs. And I said, well, hold on a second. The mafia reduced the crime rate. The Yakuza reduced the crime rate. The hierarchy and organizational structure of those older gangs is clearly downstream of the people who are in those gangs and their IQ. So, there was a thinking for about a minute before Grok replied to that. And it couldn't get its head around the fact that it was trying to argue that the decentralized nature of the gangs were the factor. And I was like, no, why don't the other gangster organizations, why is it only those gangs? So it was using a circular argument to say the reason that the reason the black crime rate is higher is because of black gangs, not recognizing the fact that, yes, because the gangs are that way because of the people who make them up. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, well, there's a guy saying it's culture, not race. But the thing is, culture, like let's say the culture of the Yakuza or the culture of the mafia, is directly downstream of the people who make up those gangs, right? Or the government of Japan or the government of Italy is downstream of the people who make up those governments. So it's like, it's funny, isn't it? So culture is literally just the same thing as race.
It's very interesting. I mean, I've mentioned on streams before, and I did a unit on South African studies at university. It was sort of peremptory, but one of the things that we noted about the way South African, in sub-Saharan Africa, that village societies were organized very well. They weren't really that organized. There was a sort of hierarchical indolence in the menfolk. It was more or less them kind of sitting around drinking beer, collecting cattle, and it wasn't a kind of deferential hierarchy like you would say you would have in the Japanese Yakuza.
Yeah, a lack of honor. I mean, and this is even registered in. I mean, do you remember the famous Mr. Pink rant in Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah,
I can't repeat it here because of the language, but I mean, this is kind of known. It's kind of known. Anyway, let's get. We're way off the point.